Happy Monday, everyone. We're going to start today's analysis with some background info to see where the DXY is at the moment. And then we're going to see where the S&P closed on Friday, just for a little bit of background information. There's not too much in terms of news coming this week. I'm going to update you daily on the chats. There are some GDP numbers and I think some consumer confidence. But we are gearing up for next week where we're going to have the Fed rates, funds rates, and FOMC conferences on Wednesday. So things will get pretty volatile then and there. Now, we'll have a look at the DXY for starters. The DXY is, I'm going to change to the 12-hour because it's a bigger time frame. So as you can see on the 12-hour, it has lost the support of the midline of the Bollinger, the 20 MA. It's lost the 5, it's lost the 13, and it looks like it is heading down on the 12-hour. Now it was looking like it was going to go back up and test the 50 EMA. It hasn't managed to do so. It's looking like around its top formation for now, so it might be coming down, testing the low average daily range of the day at 101 today, and then continuing to lift. So we're probably going to have to come down first before we lift up. That's what the DXY is looking like for now on the 12-hour. If we're changing to the daily again is supporting the 12-hour momentum. The 12-hour momentum, stochastic momentum, is down. The daily has crossed down as well. So again, we're looking at the back test of the bottom of the Bollinger as a support, and then lifting for a back test of the previous support and resistance of 102.3, and maybe the 50 EMA. Thereabouts. Now I'm going to change to the SPX. So the SPX at the moment is coming down on the daily. The momentum is down, which is a little bit odd because the SPX and the DXY should be in inverse correlation, but they are in direct correlation. So they're both coming down at the moment. On the 12-hour, it's down as well. Again, we have what looks to me like a topping out formation here. It seems like we're topping out, and we are not. We couldn't break the previous high. So we're gonna see what we're gonna do today and tomorrow on the daily. If we do manage to turn things around, I don't think so. I'm not trading any stocks at the moment, but I'm just charting this for general momentum. So as long as we're not breaking the previous high, we're not gonna go anywhere. Now, Ethereum and Bitcoin are in slightly different situations on the daily. I'm going to start with a Bitcoin on the daily. So at the moment on the daily, what we have is the stochastic has come quite close. It hasn't yet reached the maximum low at 0 or even slightly below 0. It's gone down to 4.19, but it's quite deep into the oversold on the daily. However, on the weekly, it's turned down and it's right now in the normal range box. So as you can see on the weekly, we have a downwards turn on the momentum. But the real question is, are we done with the daily momentum? Can the daily support the weekly? What we're seeing on the daily is quite a reset of the stochastic immediate momentum, but the weekly has just got started, which leads me to believe that we might have a bigger correction on our hands with a 0.5 target at around 22k, a golden pocket target at 20k, and maybe even a 702 or 786, 19k. anyways, these are big numbers compared to where we are right now because of how big this swing was. This correction of the swing would be quite welcome and very, very beneficial for the sustainability of a lift in the future. So is the daily in need of is the daily in need of a little bit of a breather or not? That's the big question today. And the space that we have the trades in at the moment is the same. Now, I won't be setting up there's no particular setups at the moment, because what I'm watching for is what's going to happen today and tomorrow. We are in the middle of a move, not in the middle, but towards the end of a move that I believe might have finished. So it looks like we're having a double bottom here, even on the daily and the bigger time frames like the 18-hour, the 12-hour stochastic momentum is turning, but the EMAs are pushing down. So it looks like a double bottom. It might have one more lift up towards the 29,200 space, and then another drop down. So again, we are in the same 4-hour space that we've been mapping, and I will just move the resistance line down to here because now it is support. So we're gonna see if we're gonna have another lift here. So what we do is we short here. So I'm gonna just color code this red. Okay, so that's what at the moment what we have is the possibility of going up to. Again, I have 29.2 on the 12-hour, 28.7 on the 4-hour. Give or take a couple of $100. What's $300-400 between BTC friends? So that would be where I could see a possible lift and then a drop down towards 26.6, even lower 25. My target would be 25. I tried to get into a short position yesterday, but I was spiked out. It was a tiny, it was only a third of my capital. It was a tiny stop loss of 3.4%. So not too big a risk compared to the reward. So I'm going to try to do the same today, see if I can catch a breather and then follow it down. The 4-hour momentum is down, so that's why with the 4-hour down, the daily still down, the weekly still down, I believe we might see a 1-hour lift to the top of the range and then a drop. So I want to see what New York is going to do, and I will map out the trades as we go along from that point onwards. But the week hasn't started yet, and this space is too small for us to be mapping setups in, because we need to open another another part of this range. So we need to open the top part. If we're just staying here in this part, then we need to watch for another back test of last night's top, and then see if we can push down. So these are all small trade setups. They're 1 hour and 15-minute trades as we are right now in this space. So again, I wouldn't be trading this. I would only be trading for position, trying to see if New York gives a 1-hour reset to the top that I might follow down in confluence with the 4-hour stochastic. So just to summarize where BTC is for clarity, we have the weekly stochastic turn down, we have the 4-hour stochastic turn down, the daily still has space. At the moment, the way the setups are looking, we are in too small a space for the start of the week to be mapping out possible setups. We need to see if New York is going to open the top of the range and do a backtest of the 28.7, 29K area. That would be the bigger 4-hour time frame that I'm watching for in terms of the range. Once that range is hit, then I can map out a possible lift to the previous high if we're going to go to that space, or a possible drop to the 25K area if we get rejected. But I need to see what's happening to this top of the range, because the space at the moment is too small. So I would suggest patience is necessary in this 2.6%. So if you're thinking 2.6%, 30%, an experienced trader leaves on the table 8. So that leaves us with 1.8%, which is, again, it's worth waiting for, because that it's most likely that price will compress, and then this range will go to either a fake out to the top side and then push down, or the opposite, a fake out to the downside and then lift up. One or the other, but at the moment we need to see what's going to happen here. Now let's have a look at Ethereum. Ethereum is in a similar situation. So the daily is holding support and the stochastic has reset the bottom. MACD is still pushing down. We are still having, we haven't yet reached a 55 EMA on the daily, but it looks like we might do it today. And again, it's looking like step 1, step 2, step 3 down. This little swing here has completed a correction. And with that correction done, we need to see if this is going to lift up and do a back test maybe of the 55 EMA on the 4-hour, or going to continue pushing down. The RSI on the 4-hour has reset at the bottom, but the stochastic is still up. So again, we have conflicting information in terms of the direction. Now, I believe we might see a lift and then another push in today's New York session. I again, similarly to BTC, I attempted a short position with a tight stop loss. I am still in it. I will check to see what's going to happen around New York time, because it looks like the 1-hour wants to do a lift towards my entry point. And if it does so, I'd rather take a little bit of the profit that I have now. I'm, again, because of how long we're staying here, it looks like we're consolidating rather than backtesting. It's tiny profit. Again, it's about, I'm in with 30%. It's just the profit of a stop loss for a future trade. But at the moment, considering it hasn't gone anywhere, and the 1-hour looks like it's getting exhausted and might backtest my entry point, there's no point in hanging on for dear life on an entry point that's not so strong, like a strong entry point would be up here, or right there, the top of the swing. So these are strong entry points. Mine is, again, going for the final part of the drop, down to 1780. So what we need to see in our space is structure. I'm looking at this as a double bottom at the moment on the 4-hour. That's what it's looking like to me. However, the 4-hour stochastic momentum is down. And similarly to BTC, we are in the middle of this range. So the safest thing to do as a trader is take my profit at the moment and wait to see what New York is going to do, which is what I'm about to do. After this session, I'm just going to give it a little bit of time and see if it does give me that that push down lower on the daily levels. It went right down to the M1, but I was thinking it might come down as low as the low ADR, which would have been a nicer profit to take. But at the moment, the 1 hour stochastic is turning up, so I am looking at this as doing a possible consolidation here. So bottom line for ETH, again, it's quite similar to BTC. As much as we're trying to, as much as they were trying to be precise about their individual levels and turns, you can clearly see that the market is moving together. So they're all having ETH, Bitcoin and XRP, the coins that I'm trading and charting, they're all having their individual movements, but the market is still moving together. So what at the moment, I'm sorry, I keep repeating myself. I just try to be as clear as possible. There are no setups because we have done our correction on the local swing, a golden pocket. We haven't yet reached a 50 on the daily. BTC has. Like on Sunday, on Friday, I was looking at this and it was about 26.6, but it's come up since then. I took my profit on Friday, as I told you on the chats. So at the moment, we are in the middle of a small range. ETH's range is a little bit more generous, but just by a tiny bit, 3%. Again, I'm not saying it's not a tradable range. You can trade it on the 5 and 15 minute, but you need to take your profits really quickly because you can see this 4 hour candle just retraced half its size when it hit the 20. So you can trade it up and down, but I am waiting for that 4 hour move to prove itself. I think the next 4 hour move is going to be down, but the 1 hour move might need to push up before the 4 hour pushes down and finishes the daily momentum, finishes maybe the weekly momentum, though again, the weekly might include a couple more swings up and down. So I'll update you on the charts if I see a possible setup. Again, we are in the middle of a small range. We have the same space that we've been moving in. I anticipate a backtest of the 55 EMA for both the 4 hour, for both ETH, the 55 EMA on the 4 hour for both ETH and Ethereum. It's looking like it's going to be ranging sideways today before New York opens. And when New York opens, it might give us a nice entry into a short position. If it lifts up the first part of the session, the second part of the session, it will reverse and it will give us a nice entry into a short position, maybe for a deeper correction down to the next level of support. But we have to see that. At the moment, it backtested the 20 on the 4 hour and hasn't gone anywhere in 12 hours. So this is holding for support. We might have to do the opposite if New York gives us a back test of the support. The indication is this is going to turn for a bigger 1 hour swing to the upside towards a 1950 and 29K BTC limit. So that would be a 5.7% for Ethereum and about 6% for BTC, and that would be the 5% to 28.7. But that would definitely be a tradable move for the first days of the week, because I think that will take at least 1 or 2 days. So that is it from me. Thank you guys for today. I'll be posting the updates in the chat. Let me know if you have any questions. As soon as we move into as soon as we move into the upwards part of the range, or as soon as we consolidate on support at the start of New York. If we consolidate on support at the start of New York, I'll post the trade setups for the lift, and the opposite if we back test at the end of New York for the down. Until then, take good care, and I'll see you guys in the chat. Bye bye.